Daniel Day-Lewis, a name synonymous with immense talent in the world of acting. In a career spanning decades, Daniel Day-Lewis has amassed an unparalleled reputation in his craft as an incredible actor, with the ability to totally transform and truly become or embody the characters he plays.
Say it louder, say it louder!
I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my boy!
What is curious about Day-Lewis is how his reputation has been built solely from his work. He rarely sits down for interviews outside of promotions for his films. He avoids the spotlight, spending his time living in Ireland, and his filmography is far smaller than that of his peers in his stature.
I mean, I still haven't found a way of really understanding myself what happened in the last couple of years. I'm just amazed by the whole thing.
Typically having several years pass by between his films. In so many ways, he's different from your classic Hollywood stars like Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio. And yet, with 3 Best Actor Oscar wins, the only male actor to do so, he's risen to become an actor in a league of his own. The foundation of these accolades and achievements is in the style of acting Daniel Day-Lewis uses.
My fellow nominees, my equals, my betters, I'm so proud to have been included as one amongst you.
Method acting. In today's video, we will explore and unpack the career, films and roles of Daniel Day-Lewis, highlighting his place as the apex method actor. We can't have a discussion on the great abilities of Daniel Day-Lewis without breaking down his style or method of acting. Method acting is a technique used by actors to fully immerse themselves in a character by drawing on their own emotions and experiences and matching those emotions with that of the character they play, in an attempt to give a truly convincing performance.
I want you to look over there. Daniel, let me introduce...
Look over there.
You see? That's my son. You see him?
Yes.
You see?
The actors live the role, often staying in character even when the cameras aren't rolling, throughout the life of the film production. This helps actors become better attuned to the character, gain a greater insight into the character's motivations, react naturally in a given scene, and most importantly, enhancing the believability of a performance.
Saves my life one day so he can kill me the next like a sneak thief, instead of fighting like a man. A base defiler.
Method acting was originated in the early 20th century by the Russian theatre director Konstantin Stanislavski. His system aimed to achieve a deep and authentic connection between an actor's own experiences and the character's emotions, emphasizing the psychological and emotional preparation of the actor. The system was further developed and popularized in the United States by Lee Strasberg, who founded the Actors Studio in New York City. Strasberg's interpretation, often referred to as the method, focused intensely on emotional memory and sensory exercises, pushing actors to explore their personal emotional triggers to enrich their performances. Daniel Day-Lewis is famed for his commitment and preparation for his roles as the gold standard in the method acting style. This is illustrated in the 1989 My Left Foot, a biographical film about the life of Christy Brown, a man born with cerebral palsy who could only control his left foot, and his triumphs and troubles, overcoming his physical limitations.
I love you, Eileen.
And I love you, Christy.
No, I really love you. I love you all.
That's good.
Day-Lewis went to an incredible length to prepare for the role, spending weeks learning about the experiences of those at a clinic in Dublin where physically disabled individuals were treated. He spent most of his time in a wheelchair, being lifted across the set throughout the production. This enabled him to maintain the posture, physicality, and mannerisms of an individual with cerebral palsy. Authentic performance that so easily could have been in poor taste if handled by a lesser actor. The genre changes, but the method acting approach remains the same in the 1992 The Last of the Mohicans, a period film set during the 18th century's French and Indian War in the American colonies. Hawkeye, played by Daniel Day-Lewis, is the adopted white son of a Mohican chief, navigating the chaos of war whilst protecting the daughters of a British colonel. The story blends adventure, romance, and action as it explores themes of identity, loyalty, and survival against a backdrop of stunning wilderness and turbulent historical conflict. For this role, Day-Lewis immersed himself in rigorous physical training and historical study. He learned to live off the land, as his character would have, gaining skills in tracking, hunting, and skinning animals. Day-Lewis spent a month living wild in the North Carolina woods in order to understand the life of a Native American in that time period. He also trained extensively in handling period-accurate weaponry, becoming proficient in the use of the flintlock rifle and carrying it throughout filming. We see a pattern emerging here. The roles themselves may be diverse, as well as the film genres, but the intense commitment to embodying characters remains ever present in Daniel Day-Lewis's approach to its craft. This is exemplified in 2012's Lincoln, a film based on the final months of President Abraham Lincoln's life in 1865, and his efforts to pass the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which would formally abolish slavery. Here, Day-Lewis delved into various historical texts, Lincoln's own writings and biographies to properly craft his interpretation of Lincoln's mannerisms and personality. What is striking about this role is the fact that there are no recordings of Lincoln's real voice, and popular imagination had led so many to believe that he had a very low and booming voice.
You're an engineer. You must know Euclid's axioms and common notions.
It would have been easy for an actor to follow this mythical approach, and yet Day-Lewis chose to stay faithful to the documented version. Clear and powerful, yes, but actually quite high-pitched with a distinct Kentucky drawl. It is this accent Day-Lewis maintained throughout filming. Even when the cameras weren't rolling, he stayed in full character, highlighting the aforementioned dedication to the craft, a man at the apex of his profession.
It's ridiculous.
Because there is no other woman?
No, because I don't mean to marry anyone else.
This dedication and focus on his roles has seen plenty of reward, with Day-Lewis being rewarded holder for the most Best Actor wins at the Academy Awards. The wins came for the aforementioned My Left Foot and Lincoln, though our standout is 2007's There Will Be Blood.
I think I'm definitely out of character at this moment. But if I slip back into it by mistake, you can do an intervention of some kind.
Daniel Day-Lewis's performance in There Will Be Blood is widely regarded as one of the most brilliant portrayals in the history of cinema. Through his intense method acting approach, Day-Lewis fully embodies the character of Daniel Plainview, a driven and ruthless oilman who embarks on a relentless pursuit to acquire oil-rich land and expand his empire. As Plainview's wealth and power grow, so does his isolation and paranoia, leading to intense and often brutal conflicts with the local preacher, Ellie Sunday, and others in the community. The film explores themes of greed, power, religion, and the human cost of ruthless ambition, culminating in a striking and darkly poetic examination of the American capitalist drive. Daniel Day-Lewis's performance as Plainview is central to the film's critical acclaim, showcasing a complex character whose thirst for power leads to his own moral and emotional downfall. His preparation for the role was exhaustive. He spent considerable time studying the period, the oil industry, and refining Plainview's distinctive voice and mannerisms, which contributed to creating a deeply complex and authentic character.
Whoopsie daisy! Now it's good and broke. I can't seem to get anything right tonight.
Day-Lewis's commitment to staying in character throughout the shooting process, his ability to convey a range of emotions from cold-hearted manipulation to fiery rage, and his powerful command of dialogue all contribute to a performance that feels not just performed, but lived. His portrayal not only captivates audiences but also deeply influences the film's tone and direction, driving the narrative with compelling force. This commitment and depth are what elevated his performance to an Oscar-winning level, solidifying There Will Be Blood as a landmark in film acting.
Death is a great honor to the Huron. Take me! You tell him?
In conclusion, Daniel Day-Lewis stands as a paragon of method acting, a discipline he has not only mastered but also redefined throughout his illustrious career. His meticulous dedication to embodying the characters he portrays has earned him an unmatched reputation and a unique place in cinematic history. From Christy Brown in My Left Foot to the fierce oilman Daniel Plainview in There Will Be Blood, and the dignified portrayal of Abraham Lincoln, Daniel Day-Lewis's commitment extends far beyond the screen, involving intense physical preparation and deep psychological immersion. His unique approach to staying in character throughout the production process, his selective filmography, and his lifestyle away from the limelight further highlights his devotion to the craft over the trappings of celebrity. This dedication has led to 3 Academy Awards for Best Actor, making him a legend in his own right. As we've seen throughout his varied roles, Day-Lewis's performances are not just watched, they're experienced, leaving indelible marks on audiences and critics alike. Now, I encourage you to share your thoughts. Which Daniel Day-Lewis performance is your favourite and why?